Hello and welcome to GregVWorld. Today I am at the McAllen Nature Center. It is not the place that comes up when you Google in the area where to go for birds or birding or bird photography, but I can assure you there are birds here. But let's back up. When I moved here 2 years ago, I quickly became interested in birding and bird photography. And the places that come up when you Google where to go for birds and bird photography are places like Benson Rio Grande Valley State Park, Santa Ana National Wildlife Reserve, Tariano Grande State Park, Resaca de la Palma, South Padre Island, etc. The list goes on. Many places around here. Famously a great birding area, the Rio Grande Valley here in southern Texas. But the thing about those places is the closest one is 30 minutes from my house, Benson. Some are up to 2 hours from my house. And it was just an expedition to get there. And then once you get there, for me, typically, I would hike another 30 or so minutes just to get where I wanted to be once I was there. So that's something I could only do on the weekends. And I wanted to do more. I wanted more. Anyway, one day I was driving by close to my house and I saw this place, the McAllen Nature Center. So I drove on in, had myself a peek, and it's a pretty neat little place. Lots of birds, lots of trees, no water whatsoever, no lakes or anything. But it was a nice little place that I could go to right after work for an hour or so, or until sundown, really. Well, back then you could come here to sundown. Now it closes at 6. And, I had a minimal gear back then, and I also wasn't very good at, I'm still not very good at birding, but I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know when I saw them what they were. I didn't bring my camera today. It's horrible light, horrible heat. And just wanted to tell you about this place. I stopped coming here for a while. I came here a lot for, a couple months, probably 10, maybe a dozen times. Just because, like I said, it was right by my house. It was a quick thing. It didn't have to be major. You park right here, you walk right in, you go. There's no fee. There's nothing going on. The one thing I can tell you about it, though, is it was a little, how would I describe it? It seemed like the place that was once nice, but was getting run down. You could tell it was nice at some point, but now it's getting kind of shoddy and run down. Case in point, when you walk in, it would invariably say, there was a sign that would say, check in, but there was no place to check in. The trails were nice, but overgrown. There's some of the amenities, like this cactus thing right here I'm looking at, were overgrown. Didn't have a lot of cactus. So anyway, like I said, I stopped coming here. I got really more interested. I sort of graduated, I guess you'd say, to more interesting places and to take my little camera and go and try and get shots. And kind of forgot about this place. And then I thought about it the other day because the McAllen Parks and Recreation announced that they had opened a new kids camp up on the other side of town. And I thought, well, if they're spending money over in that place, I wonder what's going on over at this place. So full transparency, I came here 2 days ago, got myself a look and brought my camera and filmed all that. But my camera had some technical difficulties and that footage was completely unusable. What that footage would have shown you is me going around, wow, they really fixed this place up. Look at that, look at this, woo! But it's gone. So that's what I'll do today, but it won't be mutual exploration because I've already seen all this. But, let's talk. First of all, when you come in, they've sort of gussied up the old shack. I don't think it serves any kind of purpose still. The stairs are all rickety to get in, but at least they cleaned up the yard and it doesn't look, what's the word? It doesn't look like someone's going to pop out with an axe. They also got new signage. Heaven bless them, which really spruces the place up. Another thing I've noticed as you walk in here, they have the cactus garden. That's the first major thing you're going to see. It's now kind of an actually cactus garden with cactus, and it's a garden. I'm particularly fond of this tall cactus, which I don't imagine is a native species, but it's still very cool. Another key feature of this little park is this hill over here, which always had police ribbon on the front that said do not enter. For reasons I couldn't understand. It's just a hill, for heaven's sakes. I don't know how dangerous it could be. There's just a very shallow path that leads up to it, but you couldn't go, so I never went. And 2 days ago I went for the first time. It's just a hill. Don't expect much more than that, but it was nice to finally be able to do it. Here, I'll show you. This is it's called apparently Lantana Hill. That is the extent of it. Let's go walk up it. Oh, this is gonna kill me. Ow, 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 ow. It's a little more work than I expected running up that hill. And I didn't even run all the way up the hill. Anyway, this is what you see. In the distance there, you can actually see downtown McAllen. So it's only half a mile from here, probably. Let's go back down. I mentioned birds as I see them. I didn't bring my camera. I've already seen some kiskidees. I think I saw golden-fronted woodpecker, vultures overhead. I mean, this is now and always has been, when I've come, a nice place to be. It's got a little sitting spot, benches. Okay, now this is totally new. This was not here before. This is apparently some sort of little kid-friendly nature area, which is awesome. It includes this thing. So I'll be honest, I don't know anything about municipal, city, parks and rec budgets and how those things are handled, or who makes those decisions, or why they decide they're going to make a place like this. I'm just really glad they do make a place like this right by the city where you can just go and hang out, and it's pretty and it has nature. And I wouldn't say McAllen has, intercity kid challenges like other major cities, but it is a city, and it's nice that they put aside places like this for people to hang out. I love it. Thank you, McAllen Parks and Recreation. Look, they have a stage.
I'm very important, and you should listen to me.
The one thing I don't think you can oversell is a nice place to sit down in an already nice spot that's in the shade. This is a perfect little yellow bench. Hang out here, watch your kids over there. It also has a giant ant. Oh, also right over there is where I saw a coyote and got a shot of it and shared it with the public to confirm that it was a coyote. And I was told by members of the public that it is a coyote and it's known to live here, which is weird because it doesn't seem like a big enough place to support the life of a coyote. Anyway, let's talk about that. How big is this park? I would say at 20 acres, it's not nearly as big as the previous mentioned state and national run parks. It's a city park, right? It's a relatively small park. It's got probably a couple of maybe a mile or two of hiking and jogging paths. You can't ride your bike here. You can't bring your dog here. Actually, when I came here 2 nights ago, I kind of got lost. I went walking back there, wasn't paying attention, and could not find my way out, which was horrible. And I didn't like it at all. It's so funny. This is such a small park and I'm utterly lost. We'll not talk about that again. But it's back there when you go on these paths that you see more nature, of course. And we'll go look at that in a minute. Trying to imagine the purpose. Oh, it's a sensory path. This is a sensory path. Outdoor sensory path promotes physical, mental, and social benefits. I guess they want kids to get down and touch this, smell it. I'm not doing that, but you and your kids knock yourselves out. And okay, over here I see some purple martin nests. I didn't see any purple martins the other day. I don't see any now. I do hear house sparrows, so I expect they've invaded those nests, at least for now. Yeah, I don't see any birds in there at all. They've also got a bat box. I never see bats, but I'm never here at night, so I don't know. Maybe they're in there. Oh, I do see a little bit of bat guano, aka poop. So I'm thinking there are bats up in there. I just can't see them. We'll have to come here in the evening sometime. Right over here, they do have bathrooms and a water fountain with working water, which is kind of nice because I didn't bring any water. By the way, you should always bring water. But this is a small, accessible municipal park, so I don't have to come loaded for bear. I don't have to bring all my water and my backpack and everything. Some proper sun gear is pretty much all you really need. And if you have to, you can get drink water. I mean, it's wet, but it's also kind of hot. Bathrooms. This little spot here is where I sat one afternoon for an extended period of time and just kept on getting shots of little mockingbirds, juveniles that were coming along and just feeding, and didn't seem too bothered by the fact that I was sitting at that bench right there. And that just goes to show you that birds in places like this might be more inclined to hang out close to you than birds in more wild environments. Okay, this is some kind of a pinned off water fountain area. However, I've never seen water flow there, and to this day I don't see water flowing there. And there was a bench in there and access, so I guess you can go in here. Let's do that. It's unfortunate that the water's not running, because this would be a great place to sit over there and watch birds and possibly mammals get some water. That is, again, one thing that this park lacks is no water, like not at all. So if you're coming here to see water birds, you're not going to have much luck. Speaking of wildlife, I told you I saw the coyote once. I have seen many bunny rabbits here, like mini bunny rabbits. And that's about it. I haven't seen any other mammal life. I've seen a tortoise here. I've got a picture of that. Countless lizards, countless birds, but no mammals, no javelinas or anything like that. I haven't seen any indigo snakes or anything like I've seen over at Benson. Just the birds mostly. This is the Cactus Trail. Now it says 1/2 mile, but I can tell you from experience, it's longer than a half mile because it connects to other trails. And I don't know the exact expanse of the other trails, but like I said, I actually got lost. Shut up. I got lost here. It was very serious. I was afraid I wouldn't get back to my car by the time they closed the gates, and I didn't have any water. You should probably always bring water, even when you're coming to a small park like this. I can tell you they've definitely cut back and cleaned up some of the plant life that's in here. Again, you don't want your nature walk to be too manicured, but you don't want it to be overrun with bushes and things like that. And they're doing a much better job. The path here is essentially chiliche, is that what they call this? Kind of gravel and dirt. And it's lined with concrete. So it's a nice little walking path. And if you're quiet and not yammering like I am, you can see some pretty good birds. I actually got my first best shot of a hawk right here. Right about where somewhere in these bushes here. It was just about 15 yards off the path. Didn't have a great camera lens, but it was just sitting there. And I think it was a red-tailed hawk, red-shouldered hawk, I don't recall. I'll share a picture now. And that was awesome. Oh, right here on this very spot is where I shared with the world that I was going to end my YouTubing career on a channel called We Are V. Okay, let's talk. Really, all that means is I changed the name of the channel. That's this channel. Up here is one of my favorite sitting spots that I'll share with you here on the Cactus Trail. All right, this is not currently in the shade, and I expect this metal seat will be exceptionally hot. So, in fact, I'm not going to sit here while I'm talking because it's just too hot. I used to sit at that chair and look at this branch. Actually, I think there's a different branch. I think it's not there anymore. But in here, I just thought that was the perfect place to get a shot of a bird. And at the time I came here then, which was later, it usually was perfect light coming in, perfect color, perfect everything. I thought if I could just get a shot of a bird on that branch, it'd be a winner. And I never got that shot. Never happened. This is a fairly birdy spot as far as the park's concerned. I know I'd always see, like on those branches, green jays and kiskadee hanging out. The one thing I seem to see at this park more than any other park I go to is doves, white-winged doves and white-tipped doves and mourning doves. And I don't think I've seen an Inca dove here, but many, many doves. I spend a lot of time sitting in that chair. That used to be a nasty place to sit because there was overgrowth and there was always nasty spider webs on it. And it was disgusting. But like I said, they've come through and kind of cleaned things up. In the distance, I can hear the sounds of the city park, which is less of a nature park like this. It's right next door. I don't know the name of it. It's got like ballparks and, lawns and things like that for that kind of entertainment or recreation. On the topic of vegetation, I'm not a botanist. I don't know much about vegetation or trees really at all, but I did meet a photographer here once taking a picture of a tree, and he said, this is actually a pretty nice spot in the city to get trees that you can't get otherwise. I don't know. If you're into trees, come here. So other than exploring the trails, which are, like I said, meander all throughout the back of the park and are considerable and fun, this is about it. This place is nostalgic for me a little bit because it's really one of the first places I came to look for birds. And now I love birds. And as I try to mention in all my videos, it's not necessarily about birding. That's not my channel, but that's kind of what I'm interested in now. And it seems to be what I want to do when I go to nice nature places. So that's what I do. This is a good testament to what a city can do if it puts some time and effort and finances to give its citizens. And that makes me happy. So I'll once again say thank you very much, McAllen Parks and Recreation, for sprucing this place up and giving me a good windy finale. Look, it's a kiskadee. Thanks so much for joining, and I hope I'll catch you next time. Hey there, Greg from the future, and also Charlie. And I have to say, if Charlie is adding gratuitous views to my channel, so be it. Before I wrap up this video, I thought I'd add a few addendums and provisos regarding the things I have said. First of all, I didn't really understand the history at all of McAllen Nature Center, so I thought I should probably really quick pull that up. Now, if you talk to ChatGPT, I know, ChatGPT, AI, I also don't like it, but say what you want about it. It's very good at sucking things in from all corners of the internet, World Wide Web, especially when they're difficult to find. And honestly, there's not an awful lot about the complete history of the McAllen Nature Center. So if you Google in ChatGPT the complete history of the McAllen Nature Center, you get some decent information. First of all, it started in 1960. Yeah, really old. In 1960, the citizens formed the Valley Botanical Garden Association. Can you imagine in McAllen in 1960 what was going on? Probably not a lot. A little agricultural town, and they said, "Yeah, let's start a Valley Botanical Garden Association." How awesome is that? In 1962, they opened the Valley Botanical Garden, primarily showcasing palms and native plants. The garden also, again, who in 1960 was showcasing native plants and botanical gardens in McAllen, Texas? That's awesome. The garden also served as a training site. Norman Hurd arranged to train mentally handicapped people here. Look it up, ChatGPT. In the 1970s to 2000s, it remained one of the largest remaining tracts of native vegetation in the greater McAllen area, offering a rare semi-wilderness experience amidst the city. In a 2010 biological assessment, experts highlighted the garden's dense, mature Tamaulipan, thorn scrub, riparian corridors, mesquite forests, and lot bush clusters, some of the last of their kind in the urban McAllen area. I think this is my favorite part of this whole history lesson. In 2010, faced with a proposal to convert the land into a tennis court, the fine citizens of McAllen voted that right down and did not do that. Thank you again, McAllen City and McAllen residents. You're awesome. So as far as the recent renovations that I pointed out in my video, I don't really know when that happened. It seems to have been late last year, maybe not in one single concerted effort, but over time you can definitely see that there's been a rejuvenation for the love of this place. I think it's really, really changed over time. I didn't grow up here. If you grew up here, you probably know a lot more about this than I do. So please do share. If you have any pictures or stories about the old botanical gardens of McAllen in the 1960s, that must have been awesome. Share. Please do share. Anyway, I think that's about it. So for me and Charlie, thanks so much, and we'll hope you join us next time.